listening to the Savvy Musician Show with Leah McHenry, and this is your secret weapon for success in the new music industry.
Welcome to the Savvy Musician Show. This is CJ Ortiz, the branding and mindset coach here at the Savvy Musician Academy. And once again, joined by my favorite music marketer and yours, the lovely Leah McHenry. So good to see you again.
Nice to see you too, and nice to be here and have everybody listening.
We have more fun than we deserve, and these are our. We like to record these more than one at a time, batch recording, as they say. But it's such an enjoyable process because Leah and I are also really, really great friends with a lot of mutual interests. And so we talk about all kinds of stuff, not just the business stuff. And we go deep into other pursuits. But I tell you what, though, whenever we come back to center and we get back into the end of the podcast, we realize just the real importance of this particular broadcast. You know, what happens here? Because I think, and I see it online, you see it online too, Leah, just what people write in and say and the value that's being added to people's lives. You know, this stuff is kind of secondary to us because we work in it all the time and we know the terms and the ideas and all of that. We don't realize oftentimes we have to tell ourselves even to slow it down and explain things, you know, to not assuming that everybody knows or is up to speed on everything. But still, just the fact that all this valuable content can be archived, that people can go back and get, and we have the free downloads and things. I really feel like, Leah, what you set up here is just going above board when it comes to really showing forth that commitment to empowering other people to live their dream. And I really, really hope that people grasp that. I really hope they understand that, because you can really start to think that this is all about making money.
Yeah.
And because if you want to put that slander towards her or SMA or myself, then we could put it towards you. In other words, why do you want to make music and sell it? Let me guess, your motives are pure, but somebody else isn't? No. I know Leah very well, and I'm just so grateful for this. And again, I mean, I come from a different industry, but I know that anybody, Leah, could listen to this. You could be a coach, trainer, you could be a small business owner, you could be an artisan, you could be an author, and you could still apply everything that's taught on this podcast. And so in fact, if you're a listener and you have somebody else who is into or needs to market their business or whatever, have them tune into this podcast, because trust me, all you got to do is switch out music for whatever it is they're doing, and you could definitely apply the same things. Before we get into today's episode, Leah, let me just share a spotlight. I never know what name is going to be in front of me when I read these things, so I almost want to make sure, with like the dictionary does, and have it spelled out, the enunciation and pronunciation. But this is Michael J. Abergast, one of our elite students, and Michael writes, #win. We joined this group. He said, I joined this group about a year ago to promote my neo-mellow folk pop band, the New Relics, because we were planning on recording and releasing our 5th studio album, and I really wanted to do something special with my music. That didn't happen. With family, work, and other obligations, the album never got finished. We still plan to do it, but over the past months, I started working on a solo project. I did the whole project completely on my own, just to see if I could do it. And it turned out pretty cool, if I do say so myself. So I went back through the training, created a new website and social accounts, and released the first half of my album as Front Porch Poetry, Volume 1. After a few weeks' worth of work, I've already got a robust online presence, an album on all the major distribution channels, as well as an instrumental version packaged separately, plus several t-shirts and other items for sale on my new website. Overall, I'm feeling pretty good about where I am. Next up, music videos and monetizing my music, then a crowdfunding campaign for Volume 2. Wow.
Wow. Productive.
Very productive. We like to see that. You know, it's interesting, Leah. We get all kinds, but you can tell those students who you know are going to do well just because of the way they attack their present.
Yeah. I love that you just said that. Attacking your present as opposed to like not living in the past and not even living in the future. It's a delicate balance because you have to imagine the future so that you know what you're going for, but you have to live in the present and attack in the present. That's people ask me, how do you not get overwhelmed? Well, I don't not get overwhelmed, but what brings me back to center, I actually have a sticky note right in front of me that says, be in the present moment. What's in front of me right now? Don't focus on Everest. Because our tendency is to look at Mount Everest. We're standing at the bottom and we're like, holy crap, there's no way I'm going to make it to the top. I quit now.
Right.
That's the tendency. And so I have to remind myself with a fluorescent pink sticky note to stay in the present moment and attack what's right now. And that's the key to productivity. That's the key to stopping overwhelm.
Yeah, I have a quote actually myself that's very similar. And it says, when we get so fixated on the mountain, we miss how easy it is to take a step forward.
That's it.
It's very simple. And so what this guy's doing, he just wanted to see if he could do it.
Yeah.
And he certainly did. So he's going to learn so much by doing that. And that actually kind of takes us into what we're going to talk about today, Leah, which is about creating a sister brand, which is something that you're engaged in right now, which is super, super exciting. In fact, you keep talking about it. We're like, Leah's talking about her candle business again. But I'm really, really pumped about this episode because just the results you've had so far and what you're doing have just really been amazing, and how this ties in to what you're already doing. So I'm excited for you to really break this down. Creating a sister brand. What, Leah, first of all, is a sister brand?
Well, in my mind, a sister brand is something that could be, it could be a standalone brand or product or a series of products under a brand that might relate to the culture or the music you've already built, the music brand you've already built. Like I said, it could be completely unrelated and it's now you're selling, insurance policies to dentists. I don't care. But what I'm talking about in this instance is the possibility of going bigger and beyond just the music. Now, I've always been a huge proponent of never putting all your eggs in one basket, being creative. I love this one article by Jack Kant, that oftentimes I'll refer to in my webinars. He wrote an article on digital music news. He's one of the co-founders of Patreon and has quite a well-known band. And he talked about in this one article about we are the creative class now. We're not just musicians, we're drawing webcomics, we're coding games, and we're creating apps. We're doing all these other things as creatives, as musicians, thinking outside the box. And that's how we're making a living, people. We're not only just creating music, we're doing all these other things. And so he says, if Lady Gaga is Betty's Diner or whatever, we're the mom and pop version of that. So we are the creative class, and that means going outside of the norm. And so it may make sense for you at some point to create a sister brand off of a product that made sense for your culture. And this isn't the only way this could go down. Like I said, you might just be an entrepreneur outside of this, and maybe you're selling gadgets and gizmos on Amazon or something. I don't know. But what I'm doing right now, and so I'll tell you what this is. I've created a candle brand. It's called Mythologie Candles. And the way this even happened was I saw something in my Facebook feed and it was just like a light bulb went off. This was during, I think, my crowdfunding campaign or toward the end of the crowdfunding campaign. And I had this light bulb go off. It was an idea. I've been studying e-commerce so hard and just branding and all this stuff. When the idea occurred to me, something happened inside. It was like a moment and I was like, oh my goodness. And it was like a flash happened in my mind and I saw it all. I saw everything. I'm like, I know exactly what to do. I've never made a candle before, but I know exactly what to do. It's not rocket science. People have been making candles for thousands of years. There's nothing proprietary about it.
Right.
But I know exactly what to do. It's all about branding. Because the same thing as selling a t-shirt or socks or a candle or anything, anybody can make the same thing. I'm not going to patent these candles because you can't patent candle wax. There's nothing proprietary.
Right.
It's all positioning. It's all branding. It's all marketing. That's it. And I know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I came alive. And like I said, we in our staff meeting yesterday, I was like, you should always do things that make you come alive. If it makes you come alive, you should do it. Unless it's murder. Don't do that.
Right.
So don't do bad things. But things that are inherently good, that are inspiring to you, that if I don't do this, I'm going to regret it, or I'm going to die unless I do this. So that's what happened to me. And so that's my first experiment, was releasing candles as part of my album launch. And I made this kind of immersive experience. So I made 1,000 candles with my kids got involved. Steve got involved. We did this whole thing. And so that I really learned how to make them. I formulated everything myself. I custom blended the fragrances. I studied everything I could. Now, I didn't just all of a sudden make 1,000. I was actually testing. I ordered ingredients. I did a whole bunch of stuff before I went and just made them and sold them. So it took a lot of testing, some trial and error. I had to learn the process. I had to do all of that. Had to come up with a good vessel to put them in. There was branding and labels involved. I had to do tests with that. So there was a lot. And I'm just, the whole time I'm just like, this is fun. I'm just doing this because it's fun. And when I did it, I'm like, I want to do more of it. So that's a good sign.
Yeah.
And just to reference a couple podcast episodes ago, I said this year was about rest. And if you're hearing this going, Leah, that doesn't sound restful. Right. Then you just go back to 2 episodes ago where I talked about what rest really meant for me. That was my theme word of the year. This for me is rest. I don't know if this is going to make sense to anyone, but this for me is rest, because it means like I'm not in a rush to do anything. I don't have any deadlines. I don't have any massive objectives. I have some little revenue goals that I'm going to try and hit. I'll probably blow them out of the water. But there's something magical about doing something just because you want to. Mm-hmm. Just because you want.
If anybody understands this, it's obviously going to be a creative person.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I bet you, am I taking a risk by just like laying all my cards on the table for you guys? Yeah, kind of. Could this fail miserably? It could. Of course it could. It's not even a thought in my mind, though. I may even go as far to say if it ever becomes unfun, that I won't do it anymore. I'll sell the business if it becomes a big business, or I'll just stop making them, or it'll go away. I don't know. I'll just not do it. But I'm doing it because I've had the itch to put all my knowledge of marketing, branding, and e-commerce into a physical product that I am actually in full control of. And that's the fun about handmade products, is that you get to really, you can control the quality. You can control even the unboxing experience.
Yes.
That's one downside about doing print on demand, but it's a trade-off that I'm willing to have for the profit and the ease and not having a warehouse. Those are trade-offs. In this instance, I get to control all the little details, and I'm just having fun doing that. So the whole premise around this candle business is that they are fantasy themed. So I'm really pairing themes or characters or a scene, perhaps from a film or a book or something like that, that goes with the scent and the smell. And it's recreating that. So it's another form of escape. It's another form of, taking a little mind vacation for a minute. And of course that goes along with my music. Of course it goes along with it, because that's what my music is all about already. So I'm sure people have questions.
Yeah, they have questions like, well, Leah, you're supposed to be a musician, and we can see how this relates, especially you have the Celtic fantasy metal. So, candles and all that stuff, we get that part. But Leah, you're supposed to be making music. How are you going to balance this with this music career and then making candles, especially because this is also being driven by passion and love.
Yeah. Well, guess what? There's no rules saying that you can only make music and you can't stop and go make jewelry for a while and launch that. There's no rules behind it. But the important thing is that I have my music business running. It's running on its own because I have systems set up. I also have been incredibly intentional with my goals for my music this year. I'm not trying to be super duper profitable in my music by launching albums, doing crowdfunding and all that, which by the end of all that said and done, like it wasn't even about profit that year anyways. That wasn't even what it was. That wasn't my intention that year. But 2020 was about, as I shared in the previous episode, it's about optimization, simplifying those things. So I will be profitable, but I'm not trying to explode my business in my music. I'm maintaining it so that it's really ripe and ready for when I do my next album launch, which might be the next year.
Right. Well, what's your basic approach to, are you doing anything different about branding this candle business? What's your branding approach to this? Because that's obviously where you're starting.
Guess what? It's the exact same as everything else we teach. But yeah, I get to be a little more specific because it's one product, which is nice. And no one's really questioning. Well, I'm going to say the nice thing about it being a candle is no one's like, what is it? What is it? And no one's also going to ask me, why do I have to pay for that? Shouldn't it be free?
Right. Yeah.
That's a little joust at those entitled people that leave me comments on our Facebook ads.
Freebies.
Yeah. Shouldn't it be free? Why? Anyways, nobody's going to be asking me that stuff. So in a way, it's going to be really nice to just deal with, it's like, they understand what it is. There's no explanation involved. My only job is to position it to the right audience. So there's really 3 P's. There's more than 3 if you in marketing, but these are the 3 I'm focused on right now. And it's really people, positioning, and the product. Okay. And all of those things are going to inform the way I market. So I'm starting with people, meaning I've actually already built an audience. At the time of this recording, I'm not even selling them yet. The shop is not open, but I've already built an audience. I built an audience before I even tapped into my existing music audience. So I created an Instagram profile, created a Facebook page. I had prototypes of the candles that I was working on. They weren't even the finished labels. They're not even the real thing yet. They're just prototypes. I printed them off at an online label printer on the internet, and they just mailed them to your house so that I could test some different things, see how they look. But with those, and I just took photos on my iPhone in portrait mode. It's incredible how professional they look. I didn't spend a dime on photography. And they look so good. And based on that, I was able to build a little, what I'm calling a seed audience. So I'm garnering some interest. So I created the pages and I posted very strategically in a couple of different groups. So I was kind of testing the waters with some different ideas. And the way I built this little seed audience was first of all, with these prototypes, I created basically a Middle Earth themed collection. So I've got they all happen to be themes surrounding Lord of the Rings.
Right.
There's one called the Ranger, which I've got one right here that I was burning. It smells awesome. It's like leather and woods and a bit of caramel. And I don't know, it's awesome. It's what Aragorn smells like. If you smelled him, it's a good smell. So I have this, I had a few with this prototype labels on it it says the title of them. And I found a few there's a whack of Lord of the Rings and Middle Earth themed Facebook groups. And all I do is post a photo or just say, hey, I'm making some candles. I'm doing this theme. Do you have any suggestions? No link, no promotions or anything like that. And it was like unbelievable. All the comments and stuff. And people are like, well, where's the link? Where can I buy? Blah, blah, blah. It was crazy. In fact, a couple of them got removed because everybody wanted to know links. And of course, in a lot of these groups, they don't want promotions. And so it was like, holy smokes. That really solidified in my mind. I am going to tap into this existing culture rather because I had some other ideas for other scents that I could launch. But because these people are crazy and their fandom is so extreme, and I'm in a couple of even just like collector groups where they buy, and they're like buy sell groups. They buy Lord of the Rings themed, replicas and little statues and little posters and things like that. I was like, man, these people are serious, and they spend a lot of money on this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it, for me, solidified, this is a good idea. This is a good launching pad. Now I'm going to do other things in other collections, other scents that are not Lord of the Rings related, but this makes a great launching pad. There's an existing audience that I don't have to create. I just have to tap into what's already there.
Right.
It goes along very nicely with the brand I've already built, meaning I can cross-pollinate my existing audience, because my existing audience, the Leah audience, they already love Lord of the Rings. They love all those fantasy movies and games and stuff that it's very easy for me to say, hey guys, I have a sister brand over here. Are you interested? And a large majority of them will say, yes, I'm interested. So I think the takeaway here is that I'm covering the P part of it, the people. So tapping into an existing audience makes it much easier. I don't have to create this from scratch. I don't have to educate people on what it is and why it's cool, because they already get it. They're sold long before I have ever shown them my product.
Right.
And then I only just yesterday sent the first email to my Leah list telling them about this brand, and here's the opt-in link if you want to be notified and you want to get on the wait list. So now I'm going to tap into that audience, and because I'm getting closer to the time when I'm going to start taking pre-orders. Okay. So that's the first one, the P. The next one is positioning, which I kind of covered a bit, but positioning is really all about, it's the look, it's the feel, it's the logo, it's the label, it's the descriptions, it's the photography, it's all of that, the positioning of it.
Mm-hmm.
Does it look amazing? Like just off of that portrait mode photos from my phone, people were like, these look amazing. I want to buy them right now. Where is the link? I got DMs, people asking me about their sister's wedding. Do you do party favors? Do you do this? Do you do wholesale? I mean, I'm already getting inundated. The shop's not open yet.
Wow.
Because of the positioning. It was just a photo. And I'm not a photographer. So, you get the right, it's simple. It's just a amber jar with wax in it with a label on it, taking a photo on a table. So the positioning, and then of course the theme itself is positioning, the fact that it's relating to some culture that already exists that people are crazy about. This could be Star Wars people. This could be anything. This could be Grumpy Cat. It could be any existing culture that people are crazy about. Don't think that this only works in the fantasy thing. I've heard people say, oh, well, heavy metal fans are, they're the best. Well, yes, they are. But aside from that, this works in other totally different fields. Like I was just telling you about my kids, they're totally into slime, like making their own slime.
Right.
If you type in the words making slime in YouTube, you will see millions of videos of people going crazy, little girls to adults. Like there's slime ASMR videos. I don't know if you know, if our audience is familiar with ASMR. Oh, you just go Google that later. That's weird.
Oh, ASMR. Oh, yeah, ASMR. Yeah.
Yeah, well, people are into the slime. They like the sound of the slime. They think it's relaxing and the way it crackles and crunches and stuff when they're playing with it. It's weird. Okay, that's a whole other weird fetish, I think. But I'm just saying, it's not just fantasy. It's not just because of what I'm doing. There's things that people go crazy for in completely different industries and different hobbies, different niches. And I want you to just don't get stuck in this. The fact that that it's Lord of the Rings and that it's fantasy stuff that I'm bringing up. This is not the only thing this works for. But the positioning is already there. I have to do very little to make this work because it's already, Peter Jackson and J.R. Tolkien did the work for me. I'm just tapping into it. Okay.
Yep.
And the third thing is the product itself. It has to be good. It has to be quality. It's just like the music, right? We always say the music has to be good. You can have the best marketing in the world. If the product is crap, if the music is crap, you're not going to sell jack. So, of course, I have to make the product good. And that means I'm using premium. I'm marketing this as a premium product. This is not something cheap you could just get at Walmart. If you want Walmart, go to Walmart.
Right.
If that's what you want. This is a premium product made with premium ingredients, premium packaging, and I'm putting a whole lot of thought and detail into the unboxing experience. From the tape that I use, I'm getting custom packing tape made. I mean, I'm going all the way so that it's a memorable experience.
Wow.
So yes, I mean, I'm talking like it's going to be like, that's why people still buy physical products, is because they want that experience.
Right.
So, I mean, especially in the music world too, like people still buy vinyl because it's a listening experience.
Right.
That's why they're doing that. So I'm going all the way. Okay. So now the people, the positioning, and the product itself, that's going to all inform the way I do my marketing. And it's just going to be very straightforward stuff. And I'm going to do all the same stuff that I do in my music business. There's going to be a abandoned cart. I'm thinking about abandoned cart emails and sequences, same type, ads that I know to do, relationship marketing. I'm telling them who I am. I'm not just marketing, like, yes, this is a product, but I'm letting them know who I am. I already have emails written telling them about my kids. I already have emails written telling them about who I am and that I homeschool them. I'm letting them into me. And I think a lot of people think that somehow is unprofessional, and it's not. It's not. What's unprofessional is not telling them who you are. I think that's actually unprofessional. Like, you're trying to separate a product from who you are, a product or the brand from the creator of it. And to me, unless you're Walmart, unless you're one of these huge corporations, you can't afford to do that. You've got to personalize it. You have to let people know who you are and who this person is behind the scenes. Make them care.
Right.
If they don't care, then they'll just go somewhere else where they do care.
Yes. Isn't that amazing, though, that there just is no, you didn't go into what you went into when you started, several years ago with that anticipation. It's the more you spend time with things, the more they can potentially grow. And it goes back to the fact that you're just using, as you said, you're just doing the same thing you did with your music business. As you said before, when someone learns how to market, they're never going to be without a job. There's always something that can be sold, but even better when you can do it for your own stuff. So we've got people who have, serious cultures built around their music brands in our elite program and whatnot. So the possibilities are endless to what you can create related to your brand. And it doesn't have to be candles.
No.
But like Leah said, the candles isn't limited to just her particular genre. All sorts of people have candles,
Oh, yeah.
But there's so many things that you can do once you learn how to sell something. And it really is as simple as, I mean, you wouldn't probably be doing this. You'd be buying candles. You wouldn't be selling candles. You're selling candles because of what you know, what you now know.
Mm-hmm. And this is the fun part, you guys, like when you know this stuff and it's like, it, like you could talk about it in your sleep, then it's so fun. This is just fun. That's the only reason I'm doing it, is because I want to, and it's fun.
Yep.
And now I understand these things. I know exactly what to do. Like I said, I had a flash before my eyes and I saw it all. I saw the ads. I saw the emails. I saw the shop. I saw I saw all of it in an instant.
Yep.
And now I'm just doing what I saw because I know what to do. It's so ingrained in me that I don't even have to think. And I'm not doing bells and whistles. Actually, I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible when I do this with the shop. I'm not going crazy on apps. I'm not doing it's very straightforward, and it's all going to be about the audience. Notice I started with the audience first before I even opened the shop, before my first Facebook ad has ever gone out, anything like that. It all started with people and the audience, and you can do it before you've even released anything. So I hope that encourages people too.
Yes.
Man, I've got so much to say, and I'm sure people have even more questions when they're hearing this. We can always do a follow-up and see how things are going. I have no idea what's going to happen with this. Yeah. I have a lot of questions myself. There's going to be some roadblocks. Shipping is a big factor. It's expensive to ship candles. It's really expensive to ship it outside of the US, like to Canada and the UK. So I have challenges. So this fun is not without challenges.
Right.
And I heard someone say there's no such thing as problems, just puzzles.
Yeah.
And puzzles are always solvable.
Right.
And I loved that when I heard that. So I was like, I'm going to encounter puzzles, and we're going to solve them. And then I'll know more, and then I can help other people. And so I am going to be sharing my journey as much as possible.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much on this podcast, but I will be sharing it probably on the blog on my shop, which will be mythologiecandles.com. Maybe by the time this comes out, it'll be launched. So you can check it out if you want. I'm not even trying to promote it, but if you just want to see what I'm doing, you can check it out. But I'm going to try.
That's mythology not with a Y, with an IE, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Mythology with an IE. So yeah, mythologiecandles.com. And I'm trying to share the journey because I think that that's an aspect of transparency that will only help the brand, and say, I'm going to try to include people in and let them vote on the next scent and the next idea, and let them into some of the, I'm really taking everything I've taught at Savvy Musician Academy, and especially in our elite program and in our, the online musician. And I'm putting that into this, like everything. There's nothing that I'm applying in this business that you guys don't already have access to. You have to realize that.
Right.
You have more knowledge and stuff inside of these programs than I ever had when I even launched Savvy Musician Academy. And so I'm taking all of that, I'm putting into this. It's just, now it's faster for me to do it. It's faster. It's a shorter process now because it's so ingrained.
And so to the listener, and this is not going to be for everybody, it's only going to be for some of you who are listening. You may be at that place where you're ready to learn these principles that we're talking about branding, about e-commerce, about email marketing. The real deal, and really start to move forward. You've been trying to piece things together through these podcasts or YouTube videos or a free download here and there, but you're not really getting anywhere yet. But you're ready to spend money on advertising. You've got some music under your belt, and you don't just want to just take a course. You really want that helping hand. You want us looking over your shoulder. You want to really know the ins and outs of all the stuff that we talk about on this podcast. Well, that is our elite program. And I think if, have a conversation with yourself, whoever you are, but think about whether you're ready to take that step, because it will be a game changer for you. If you're serious, if you're ready, as we said at the outset, to attack the present, if you're really ready to be invested and make the sacrifice for your music business and have that music career, and stop being frustrated with not knowing what to do, stop being frustrated, get your eyes too fixated, as we said, on that mountain. You don't realize that this could be your very next step, because now you're bringing in the resources and the experts to really help you do it right. Well, that's what our elite program is all about. So if that's you, I want you to go to callsma.com right now and schedule a call with us. We would love to talk to you. We're going to ask you questions. Again, this is not for everybody. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's not for everybody. It's gotta be a good fit, because we want you to succeed. We're not just taking people in because we want somebody's money. We turn people away. Some people are just not ready. We recommend they get one involved maybe in Tom or the Inner Circle. But if you're ready for this, then we would love to talk to you. So book a call today at callsma.com, and we'll see if we can't help you take that next step. But Leah, thank you so much for sharing this sister brand with us. I know it's going to do well.
Thanks, CJ. I'm excited and to share with you guys the rest of the results. We have students who are doing well with this. I know Daniel Coates, he launched I think necklaces for their music brand, and he said at one of their shows that those necklaces outsold their CDs, which is really cool. So just, guys, people are doing it already. Get creative, think outside the box. I'm here to help you think bigger, and I'm also here to help you think more strategically. I'd love to help coach you inside of the elite group. So I hope to see you in there.
Guys, thank you so much. We will see you soon.
This episode was sponsored by the Superfan System Elite program here at Savvy Musician Academy. If you are looking to scale your existing music business and you're looking to get into advanced digital marketing, such as email marketing, funnels, e-commerce, Facebook ads, and more, and you're looking to build a real profitable online music business, book a call with our team at www.callsma.com. catered.com. We would love to speak with you for about 30 minutes and see how we can help you. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast for more episodes, and we'll see you next time.